Greetings, bio robots. Welcome to another exciting episode. This is number 351 of Geeks in Space. We got a full house today. Let's go around the room and see who we got today. Let's start with Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Hemos Bates. I'm finally rejoining after being gone. I would just like to state I have not yet seen Good Omens, so I don't want any spoilers, except I read the book.
All right, Nate.
I'm Nate, and Persona Q2, the latest game in the Persona series, shipped today. So I'm very excited about that.
Is yours
I'm
pre-ordered?
very excited. Yes, and I'm very excited that it is the final sort of major release title for the Nintendo 3DS, which is, I think, an awesome gaming platform.
So, Rob.
I'm Rob Rosenbaum, and I am happy that the new Swamp Thing isn't awful. It's pretty good so far.
Excellent.
Hopefully...
Let's circle back, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris DeBona. So I guess my thing is I played Satisfactory in multiplayer with my son, and it was amazing.
I am with you there, man.
He has built an incredible world of just like swooping conveyors, and it's kick-ass.
He gave me a tour of it when I was over last time, and it's incredible. A monument to organizational beauty.
Yeah. What's that?
What platform is this on?
Oh, this is on PC off the Epic Game Store, part of that fight.
So, Epic! It makes me angry that the gaming store app platform has to be like we're just to the point now where they're talking about like, let's have our shooter games compatible between PlayStations and Xboxes. And then we're going to go backwards and we're going to have 73 different app stores.
Epic is good. Epic is good. It's putting price pressure on the whatever 30x% take that Steam gets for every PC game sold. So I am all for someone who can actually break the Steam pseudo monopoly and get developers to take more of the profits from game sales.
I mean,
right now.
All right, who is that?
I will mute. That was my bad.
Right now, they're just going through the same thing that streaming television is.
Sure. Eventually,
all the streaming services will be offered in one. And eventually, all these game stores will be all together again.
What do they say? Half of all business is just either bundling things together or debundling things.
Right.
I don't see the gaming stores becoming cross-platform again for a super long time. And yes, I agree that breaking the Steam 30% is a good thing. However, objectively, the Epic launcher is crap compared to the Steam app, which, Frank, it's an Adobe Air app, so it's crap in and on its own. But
it isn't actually an Adobe Air app though, because it's got embedded Chrome. It's such a fucking it's just such a mishmash.
It is, but it just let me install the new Stellaris DLC from here to my house. It has chatting. It can send things.
Yeah.
And the Epic Store is like, hey, you want to play this new game? You have to go through us. That's what pisses me off. The exclusives part is irritating.
Exclusives are very frustrating.
You at that point just undercut Steam. And
well, that was the point, right? That was the point, right? They wanted to anger Steam and make Steam stop with their take a third from everything, right? So.
But I mean, this plays out on every platform, right? We've seen the same stupid fights over the Apple Store and the Google Store, and like the fact that I have to use like the Comixology app. I have to like bookmark a comic book and then go to the Amazon website to buy said comic book. I mean, this is so stupid.
But I think that's more a story of, hey, we bought this company and it turns out their tech was trash.
Well, they do the same thing with Kindle, and they do like all of those companies. If you're selling digital content, they all do stupid crap like that to get around the corporate monsters taking their cut. It's not a new story. It's anti-consumer, and that's what makes me mad.
Mm.
I think it's just more irritating than it is anti-consumer. It's just dumb. It's inefficient.
Well, it's certainly costing them money in my case, because if I could just click that frickin' button and buy that comic book, I mean, I go to the comic book store once a week
Well,
and
this
buy a physical comic book, because a lot of times that's just easier than like remembering, oh, I'm in this thing and I got to remember to go to this other thing and then go look at my wish list and say it's like a whole bunch of extra hassle.
You coastal elites with your fantastic comic book stores just next door to your houses. You know, us Californians, I have to go like a mile to get to Lee's Comics and get a good comic book. What if I'm in the middle of an airplane ride or somewhere in the middle of nowhere? How am I going to get my comics without digital delivery? I mean,
plus when you get a physical comic book, you get the joy of, 20 years down the road, letting your kids sell them at a scrap meet someplace, out of a big box. And that really could teach them a lot about how the world works.
Hold on. Are you saying that my original, Judge Dredd comics aren't worth, all this money that I've been told it's worth in that one comics compendium?
I found that the pricing guides lie.
What?
You don't have every variant of Superman dies?
They're based on nerds being drunk. Like a drunk nerd would pay this for that comic book.
Thanks for making it so Overstreet isn't going to be underwriting us, guys. Nice work.
Yeah.
God.
I always felt Overstreet was a little optimistic, let me just say.
Nate, tell me about your Game Boy. Tell me about Persona.
So I like hardcore dungeon crawlers. That is like my game. I love hardcore dungeon crawlers. And Persona Q2, so the Persona series is a good RPG in and of itself, but Persona Q2 is basically a mashup of Persona and Etrian Odyssey. So that, they changed the game mechanics slightly, but it is a very conventional, like map discovery, crawl down different levels of dungeon, fight bosses that are way too hard. I'm just starting to get into the first dungeon now as of, this morning. But yeah, no, the first Persona Q game was excellent, and this one is meeting my expectations.
And it's the end of the Game Boy era.
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, like the 3DS is actually kind of this weird, I feel like it's the last real Nintendo platform, because the Switch is really a ports platform. Like the Switch is getting all the games that all the other consoles get. Yeah. But Nintendo, the 3DS can, because it has the native processors for SNES, GBA, Nintendo DS, and 3DS, like you have this very broad catalog of games that you can play without emulation, like natively on it. And like it's really portable. The battery lasts forever. When I was doing 24-hour flights back and forth to India, it was totally my best friend. And because I get a lot of my game, through traveling, it just works in a place where a laptop or a console really doesn't work too well.
I'm always worried with the Switch. Like I wouldn't want to take that out. I'm afraid it would be destroyed in the same way as way.
They're really durable.
But like the Game Boy, I mean, the folding it in half thing, I mean, it's safe. It feels like I can just throw it in my backpack. Like it's a lower barrier. It just feels more portable to me.
They also cost $100, so we have multiples in the house, so it is actually mine, as opposed to my Switch. If I did that, my 5-year-old would not be able to play Splatoon, and that's unacceptable for many reasons.
So
Splatoon is critical.
Is this a scenario where eventually, Nate, you're going to have like 5 boxed Game Boys that are sitting in a container of inert gas as they don't make work, or you're just ready for when you go?
I got to say, the original Game Boy, the one I have, still works. I mean, these things are tanks. They don't do anything. They should have actually deployed them in World War II against the Nazis.
It's like Cold War era technology kind of stuff. Like for example, Chernobyl. Who has watched the last episode?
Again, no spoilers.
Just to warn you, it doesn't end well. The dragon melts the throne.
You must be craning. Crazy. Sorry. No, I'm not good.
No, they finished up Chernobyl last night, and I had to choose between that or Good Omens for my 1 hour of shared TV time with my wife. The last episode actually is kind of a letdown because it's all trial stuff and like wrap up. Because episodes like 2, 3, 4 are just unbelievable. Those first episodes of that show, man, that's some of the most riveting.
The first episode is just like, oh no,
It gets even it gets more terrible.
I thought
the horror of dying due to radiation poisoning, like it's amazing because it creeps up on you. It isn't like a fire that you can see. You don't know where to run. I mean, they really, really express that really well in that first episode.
yeah.
People just getting sick and dropping. It's great.
I've spent the entire weekend basically watching every YouTube documentary that I can find on anything about Chernobyl, and like watching there's like a company that makes like the dosimeters, they have like a whole thing where they're like walking around doopy doopy doop. Let's see what happens when we put our thing against this old merry-go-round, and they push it up and they get the clicks off of it. It's creepy.
Peter Sagal, who, the NPR Peter Sagal is also the voice on Chernobyl, had a great tweet. He's like, yeah, all these episodes are Chernobyl. It's like the Red Wedding every episode.
Right?
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah.
There's a really good documentary that I did find. It's like called 3828 or whatever the number was of the people who had to actually shove the graphite off the reactor roof.
Yeah.
And that it's pretty old. It's like a lot of translated Russian original source material. So are we safe, Chris?
Yeah, no, I'm seeing a completely reasonable millisieverts of radiation here in California. I can't speak for Michigan. Yeah. So.
Radon is a known issue, and
you have a lot more radon than we do. We have a lot of close to the ground asbestos, and in the Bay Area we have 22 Superfund sites, but they're not nuclear. They're perchlorates and chip making chemicals.
So you watched Swamp Thing, Rob?
I did. I enjoyed it. It takes sort of a less campy, sort of more Moorish take on Swamp Thing, where it's more horror. So far, so good. I mean, it's one episode, so who the hell really knows, right? But
is that like
good so far?
Or like one of those like 4 episode or 6 episode things?
I think this run is 8 episodes, but I'm not positive.
I feel like that's pretty close to the sweet spot. I feel like once you've crossed over 12, you're gonna have like Doom Patrol had this problem, right? Doom Patrol had 15 episodes. 5 of them are not that great. 5 of them are off the chain awesome, and 5 of them are just fine. But like 8 episodes, you're gonna nail it.
That's why the BBC kills it so often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They write shows to end when they start them. So
I mean, they could have made Good Omens 14 episodes, but it would have sucked. 6 though.
Yeah. Yep.
That's DC Universe, right?
That is. They are really trying to get content so that you buy their streaming service.
I want to just log on long enough to watch all of their things on a free trial and then go away. There was HBO with the end of Game of Thrones. That's like, here you go. Here's Chernobyl. Stay for another month.
Right.
All right.
And then they have Big Little Lies season 2. They've got the last season of Silicon Valley. They're like spreading them out now. So
this last season of Silicon Valley is only going to be like half as many episodes, there, right? It's super short.
Yeah, they're filming now. I'm a teeny bit involved. So yeah, they're filming now. I want to go down and be like an extra, like a dead body in the background or whatever. I don't know.
There's a lot of dead bodies in Silicon Valley. It's like
it's all dead bodies.
Yeah.
Things are different in California now.
I don't want to give away a storyline.
Right. The last season it gets a little bit bloodier.
Yeah. They gotta get them Game of Thrones money.
Right. Get the mad bank. Apple announced $30,000 Macs.
33, and that's before the high performance video code processor boards are added.
What is in a $33,000 Mac? Mostly
the same things that it's in a $1,000 PC.
No, actually, you can make that same power of Mac as a Windows machine, like with the Xeon and the memory and everything, for about half the price. So,
I mean, it's spec'd well for what it is, but
it is spec'd beautifully. But
yeah,
I read price is $6,000.
I read a pretty good Twitter stream, or some guy tweeted he was a video producer, a TV producer, and just kind of going down why this actually matters. And he's just like, look, the 5 of us on this call, none of us are going to buy this machine. It's not for us. It's for those dudes who are in a TV studio and they're trying to do live TV, or it's for those dudes who are doing computer animation and they need to be able to do a quick previs render. and their whole workflow is already Mac based, and there's lots of good reasons for that. Plus the it's two super fast Ethernet ports. I mean, those folks aren't going to migrate. But if you are in the market for a Mac, the big iMac
You've
Pro
been underserved for a
yeah,
long time.
well, yeah, the big iMac Pro thing is probably better for you, or the one that looks like the single device. I don't even know what that's called.
All-in-one.
Yeah,
All-in-one, yeah.
I mean that's those are actually not an insane price.
They're not an insane price, but you can't add like the Red coprocessor board.
Right.
You can't add any of these things to that one, right? So
right.
Yeah.
So if you want expandability, you're going to pay $10,000 extra for the possibility of expanding. But if you're going to buy the $30,000 machine, it's because you need, some ridiculous co-processing power.
So just to be clear, I can spend $10,000 to have the option to spend even more money later.
Yeah, you've thought this through. This is a good plan for you.
Now, honestly, I have to tell you, I kind of disagree. Most of the people who have gone in this direction, they've left the Mac platform behind. And Mac's going to have to work to get them back. And
so they're doing this entire thing to just get Pixar to upgrade their entire studio?
Maybe. I mean, even them, they've moved on, Everyone's moved on.
And
now,
best of all,
hand me a $30,000 Mac, I'm going to use it, but I got to tell you, I can get I'm literally streaming this from a 9-year-old MacBook. I don't need anything more than a 9-year-old computer.
And we can't even tell.
Can you tell? Now I'm feeling concerned.
And best of all, they're using
the
new cheese grater aesthetic.
That's right.
So that's
nice.
Nice.
I did think that was kind of pretty. Although the feet they almost look like Pixar designed the feet. I know that sounds weird, but I have expected it to go,
So let's see. I Boomer.
Wait. Can't talk about the Worldwide Developer Conference without talking about the stupid stand for the stupid monitor that costs $1,000 or $200 for a VESA adapter.
$200. Well, that's not new. I have a VESA adapter on the monitor that I have right now, and I don't think I paid for it, but it was like $100 for the stupid adapter.
$1,000 for a stand?
$1,000. I mean, it rotates into portrait.
I can get a whole 4K Samsung monitor with the freaky stand that's right up against the wall for $459.
Yeah.
It's like if I need a freaky stand, literally half the price of the stand, I can get the monitor.
Money to burn, man. There's people out there with money to burn.
Money to burn.
Mm-hmm. So boomers were outvoted in the midterms now. They had a study that they were outvoted by Generation XYZ. And if you look at the chart, it's like a dramatic spike. And so in theory, the next presidential election will not be decided by people whose life expectancy does not include the entire duration of a 2-term president.
That's good. The boomers are the worst generation.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Yeah.
Said it many times.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get a boomer to defend their position someday on this phone call. Does anybody
Joe and Baez and Grace Slick were very important. And yeah.
If one of the best things about them all dying is I'm never going to have to see another effing documentary about 1968 again in my life. The 60s were awful.
Not a big fan of the Woodstock.
There's just so many of them, and they're so reductive. And
they're all on Amazon Prime, and if you watch one of them, it will recommend you 733 more of them.
Yeah, give me some 70s. Come on.
Yeah.
See, but we're supposed to be the children of the 80s, right? So that's why Captain Marvel is set in the 90s, and you have Stranger Things set in the 80s. Media's moved on. Kathleen and I were just watching. Man, what was it? We were watching the Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron.
Oh, sure.
And it's a fine date type movie, but all of the pop culture references are clearly settled around between 1988 and 1994. And we're enjoy this moment because in 3 years, it's going to be all yeeting and dabbing. And we can already see that because Detective Pikachu is the first start of the stuff that I feel is really pop culture wise, just beyond my era. I know I played Pokemon, but I didn't grow up with it in the same way. Oh, that reminds me. Magic the Gathering. The Russo brothers are producing a Magic the Gathering based TV show.
Wow.
Oh, God.
For life. I'm gonna land and the
Sarah Angel.
I'm going to tap 3 colorless and watch this.
So good on them, I suppose.
I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
How could it not?
Now I'm trying to like imagine the mashup between Avengers and Magic the Gathering. Like you snap your fingers and half your cards go away, or I don't know.
The Hulk fights a crawl worm. Yeah.
Hulk smash,
Leviathan, right?
slimy smash.
Let's be clear, summoning the Hulk he is obviously green mana, and it's probably 6 forests at least, 4 colorless. Yeah.
You think he takes 10 to pull out? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because I think he gets a +2/+2 counter for each turn that he's out as well.
As he
you guys have
gets
fun.
raged. Yeah. He gets rage tokens.
Oh, and he has, to be clear, he has a rampage from the very beginning. Like you don't need to add that on it. It's just part of his base card.
There's probably some expansion packs that like add like hit points and stuff because he's smarter now. So like he's like maybe got some wisdom to like dodge and stuff, like improved dexterity stuff. I don't know.
I like that we're all crapping on it, but know exactly all the rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Provided that it's like from like the first 3 or 4 series. Like I can't play the modern series.
It's fine. Like actually, the rule set change did make things easier. Like not having to argue over interrupts versus instants turns out to make things a lot more pleasant. I don't know. It's fun.
Are y'all still talking about Magic? Because I got some more email I can handle. You know.
So the last thing that I just wanted to throw down there is if you guys wanted to start start a startup, the PageRank patent expired. So which by the way,
and that's the only algorithm.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Google. You know,
Pretty much you can make Google now.
Yep.
Yeah. Gmail. It's just PageRank.
No, that's Google's vote. Here's my super embarrassing thing about PageRank. I cannot tell you. I mean, I knew about it. I read the paper like when it came out, like when Google was like not a thing really. And like I did not realize that Page could theoretically also refer to a human being's last name.
Turns out.
Or that it does.
Right. I was just like, well, yeah, he's ranking web pages. And it was several years later when I had the aha and it's not like I did not know these people's names, but it just those lines never cross. So like you're sorting pages.
So I'm just gonna share a little thing about work. You know, in our top level domain registries, all the TLDs that we got, one of them is .page for the web, clearly. So
yeah,
I have been waiting for access to the .dot domain for my whole life.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
I think if anybody on the internet deserves it, it's me.
Yeah.
So, folks, we've been here for a half hour.
Have we? No, only 23 minutes.
Well, are we ready to sign off? Shall we say goodbye?
Did we miss anything important?
I'm
not sure we talked about anything important.
We did it wrong.
I think I'm going to try playing Fallout 76 again soon, so I'll be able to tell you how that is.
Yeah, good luck.
Basically, I want to play post-apocalyptic Barbie more. Is probably a more honest way to put it.
I'm going to wear clothes.
And Chris, I want to see some screenshots of Laszlo's Satisfactory because Elliot's Satisfactory is also ridiculous, and I'm curious on how they decided to do their power grids.
Well, Laszlo has a line of power stations. He's got 2 sets, and they feed everything. So, yeah.
Speaking of, if you haven't gotten Green Mars yet, the Surviving Mars X packet is worth.
Ooh, is it good?
It's good. I have almost terraformed Mars now. My domes are open. Yeah.
It's happening.
My domes are open is not a code for anything. Just to be very clear about that.
The innuendo chart phrasing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that Surviving Mars is a great game.
Yeah.
We must have talked about that.
Nate and I tried to play Witcher last week, and I don't think either of us were particularly impressed.
Oh, yeah.
But we might have drank enough that we didn't play the game right.
Wait, though.
Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah, no, you're doing it wrong then.
It was fine. It was just I felt like it didn't look as good as Red Dead, and it felt really slow paced for the amount of actual combat that I wanted to do in that game.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot more story, and some of the stories are dark. Dark. Yeah. Cool.
All right, friends.
I'm
Let's
gonna
pick this
slap
up
up the
later.
outro card.
All right, folks. Do we want to say our goodbyes? Jeff?
Oh, goodbye.
Nate?
See you Thursday.
All right, Rob? Chris?
Later.
See you on Thursday, everybody.
All right, thanks for listening to Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Takamalda. We'll catch you guys later.